Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of King Tech. I'm your host Corey, and I did something really silly, at least for me. I went out and got myself the new iPhone 11, and if anybody knows me, I am a die-hard Android guy, Samsung, OnePlus, like I'm there for it. But with doing this YouTube stuff now, I wanted to give myself the chance to try something new, so I bought my very first iPhone, and this is how it went. Alright, so first thing I want to say is I don't hate iPhones, I don't hate Apple, I just think that there are things that are better out there. So that's what I choose to use. But with all that being said, I think iOS and iPhones, the hardware and the software has matured over the last few years, and it's getting closer to that experience that you might get on some Android phones, just for some of the features that you can use. New cameras, new software inside the cameras, just a lot of new stuff that I'm really excited about with this new iOS and the new products that Apple's just announced. I've been using it for about a week now. I tried to film a video of me unboxing it, but rookie mistakes happen. So we're gonna do this again. But I think all you know is inside the iPhone box. There's not too much new, so we're just gonna do this. And this is what you get. Obviously you have your basic stuff if you ever owned an iPhone before. This is everything that you get. Nothing really has changed. 5-watt charging brick here, your charging cable, some earphones, stickers, some ejection tool, starter pamphlet, some type of information. No idea what that is. But the star of the show is the iPhone 11. And I went with the black version, the 64 gig, and I've really enjoyed it so far. This phone has gotten me through a week so far, and I'm enjoying it. I'll say that. There's some things about iOS that I don't like, and we'll get those a little bit later. But I have to say my experience overall has been very positive, and I'm glad I made the switch. So let's just go through a few things that I'm loving about this phone, and I'll also give you a few things that I'm not necessarily loving either, alright? So stick with me, let's go. Alright, so first up with the phone, the one thing that I love, and absolutely, I love, is iMessage. I didn't know, I'm sorry, I didn't know how great iMessage was. I'm sorry for all my friends, for all the green bubbles, but I love iMessage now, and it's going to be very hard for me to go back even after a week. It's just so seamless. Talking to your friends, group chats, FaceTime, all that kind of stuff just works. There's no figuring out who's on what system. There's no SMS, MMS. There's no, oh, I can't see you that video. It just works. Like, it just works, and I love it. There's also probably one of my favorite things as well is just being able to see when your friends are replying. Also, the messages are secure as well. That's one thing that Android doesn't have. Like, your messages are end-to-end encrypted with iOS and iMessage, so that's nice. Also, being able to just hop on my computer and respond to stuff super quickly. So there's a lot of stuff that I just love about iMessage, and I wish I would have known sooner, but forgive me. Alright, second thing is I love the new cameras on the new iPhone. We have the wide angle and we have the ultra wide angle on the back here. This is the iPhone 11, so it doesn't have the telephoto, but I think this setup right here is the best setup you can have in a phone. That wide angle and then that ultra wide angle. That ultra wide angle just gives you so many more options when it comes to shooting video and photos. You can get so much more in your shot. It's lovely. That's all I can say about it. Also, Apple has done a lot with the software this year. There's a lot of technical stuff they did that I won't get into, but one thing they did bring was night mode, and night mode has been a lifesaver for me. I'll throw up a couple pictures right here of what I'm taking for its night mode, but these pictures right here, most of the time it was completely dark, and they brought up so much light. Now, whether this night mode is better than Google Pixel or Samsung's or OnePlus's or Huawei's, we'll have to do a camera comparison to see, but just looking at the photos straight from the camera, straight on the phone, off the camera, they look good. I mean, when you use your phone, you're using it most of the time in the bubble that you have, which is just your one phone. So you're not doing a lot of comparisons, but it looks good from just me taking a picture, snapping, and just not worrying about it. It looks really good. And I'm really excited to dive more into these cameras, do some video tests, everything like that. I had a lot going on this weekend with my best friend's wedding, but I got a lot of stuff done with this phone, and it got me through the weekend, which is really important. Like I said, the photos that I have taken have looked good so far. Number 3, the third thing that I'm loving right now has to be the battery life. The battery life on this phone is really good actually, and I'm kind of excited about it. Only thing I do hate is that I don't have fast charging right out of the box. You have this little nuisance here, which is a 5-watt charger from Apple, and it's just not cutting it. I actually haven't used it. It's still in the wrapper. I've been wirelessly charging what this phone does have. Wireless charging works great for me. I have a pad at my desk, I have a pad by my bed. I wirelessly charge with the best of them, alright? So that's how I've been charging my phone. But I wish I would have got for $700, I wish I would have got a fast charger in the box, like most phones come with, the fast charger in the box for $700. But you know, no sense of complaining to Apple. They'll do what they want. All that being said, the battery life has been really good, and I'm not disappointed whatsoever with this battery life. I'm actually pretty appreciative of what I've gotten out of this phone as far as battery life goes. Number four for me is Face ID. Now, this is one thing I probably took for granted as well, but it's just amazing how it just works. Like, I lift my phone up to wake, and it's automatically unlocked. I just swipe up, and I'm there. Super simple. When I'm signing in certain apps, like if I go into my T-Mobile Money app, I just sign in, and that's that. It logs me right in. There's no me having to figure out where to put my finger at. It just logs me in right away, and that's just so smooth and so seamless. And that kind of brings me to another point with iOS. Everything just works very well. The things that iOS does, it does it very well. It may not have every feature in the world, but when it comes time to do something, it does it for the most part very well and very smoothly. You don't have to do a lot of effort and a lot of thought behind it. It just works, and that's one thing I can say that I'm appreciating about iOS and Apple. So those are the things that I'm liking about this phone so far. Like I said, it's only been a week, so I can't give you my full review, but those are the things that I like. Now, what I'm not liking is features I get with Android, and that's double tapping my home button to get to my camera really quickly. That's the bezels on this phone. I can't even explain to you how much I'm not liking these bezels. Most Android phones in 2019, the bezels are just so small that you don't even notice them, but on this one, you notice the bezels, and it's not pretty at all. I don't like it. The design of the phone overall is really good though. I do have to give that to Apple. Like the build quality, the way the phone feels in your hand, and the size of this iPhone 11 is just perfect. I do like that. I can reach most places on the screen. So everything as far as the build quality is great, but the bezels, man. Also, it is an LCD screen, and I'm not one to nitpick when it comes to screens a lot of times, but I can notice, I came from a OnePlus 7 Pro. That phone has the best screen out of any screens there is on the planet. So coming from that with a 90 Hz refresh rate, with the Quad HD, with the OLED and all the colors and the HDR, to come to this, it's a little disappointing, but it works. I can't complain about it, but it definitely doesn't do the job that phone did when it comes to the screen and how it looked. Now, another thing I don't like is the fact that I can't figure out how to work this phone because I've never had an iPhone. But that'll come in due time for me. That's not really a nitpick, but I have to say that I'm learning as I go. I'm loving the apps. Apps are a lot better on iOS than they are Android, I will say that. So it's just a lot of things I'm coming to realize that I've been missing out over the years. And if I could, I would carry 2 phones in my pocket. I would carry Android and iOS because I feel like that would be the perfect balance for me, especially with the app ecosystem that Apple has and the iMessage. I think that I would need to stick to iOS for those reasons. But everything else, customizing, do what I want with my phone, having all the greatest and latest features, that's kind of stuff you can only get on Android. And that's kind of what I've been doing over the last few years, is sticking with Android because I wanted the latest and greatest features. Like I said, now with Apple coming out with this new iPhone 11, they're catching up and iOS is maturing. It's becoming a lot easier for people. I think it's going to be a lot easier for people that are Android to switch now because of the fact that Apple's come out with the new cameras, new software, everything is working really, really well. And I'm excited to see what this time's going to bring. So I'm going to check back in with you all after a week or so, let you know my full review, give you everything, dive into the camera, dive into the apps that I've been using. I've been using Apple Arcade. That's been pretty good. yeah, so I'm just excited to see what it's going to bring. So stick with me. Also, if you have not subscribed yet, look at me. If you have not subscribed and you're watching this video, please subscribe. It'll help me out a lot. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.